Good morning. I am Murray Zwickel, and I use he and him pronouns. And I'd like to welcome you to Bucksmont Unitarian Universalist Fellowship's multi-platform worship where, moved by love, we share lifelong journeys of growth, wonder, and healing, nurturing wholeness in society and spirit, creating a community of justice and compassion. I'd like to give a welcome to everyone joining us online and in person today, members, friends, and those who may be newcomers to our community this morning. As we begin our service, please take a moment to silence your cell phone. If you are new to Bucksmont and visiting us in person today, please stop by our visitor center in the front hallway near where you came in. There you can also make a name tag for yourself and find more information about Unitarian Universalism, Bucksmont Fellowship, and upcoming events. If you'd like a hymnal or a printed order of service, those are available near the entrance to the sanctuary. If you are visiting us online or prefer digital methods, please email our office administrator, Beverly, to sign up for our email newsletter and to get connected to our congregation. You may also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bucksmont UU. Each week in our service, we offer time for people to share a joy or sorrow from their lives by texting a phone number. That number is shared on screen for everyone now and will be again later in the service. If you would like to see the order of service, details about upcoming services, and other ways to gather with our community, you can find that on our homepage of our website, www.bucksmontuu.org. There is a lot happening at Bucksmont, and we'd like to highlight these announcements in particular. Please plan to attend our annual congregational meeting after the service today here in the sanctuary and on Zoom. Childcare is available. And I'd like to add a few additional comments that in order to conduct our business today, officially, we need a quorum. So that's approximately 49 people, I believe, is the magic number. So if you can, please attend. And we know that one of the ways to a UU's heart is through his stomach. So for your dining pleasure, we have some delicious, dainty, delectable delicacies for you to partake in. Grab some, come in and sit, and get ready to partake in the festivities right around noontime. Eat healthy. Come join us tonight at another game and movie night with a space theme. It will be starting at 5 p.m. and there will be 2 movies being shown with games all night. Please see the eVoice for more details. Please support our Peace and Justice Committee's partnering with the American Red Cross on Friday, June 21st from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. to donate blood. One donation can save up to 3 lives. Blood is crucial for surgeries, trauma, care, cancer treatment, and managing blood disorders. Your donation supports Bucksmont's vision of supporting our larger community. Welcome the pleasures of the coming summer at Gaia's Rainbow Litha Ritual on Saturday, June 22nd. Meet and greet begins at 7 p.m., followed by ritual in the sanctuary. All are welcome. Bring food and or drink items to share and see the eVoice for more information. Whether you are a guest, friend, or member, we are glad you are part of our worship service today.
Yeah, can you hear me? There we go. Good morning, my name is Margaret Lee, and I use she, her pronouns. I'm the music director here. For those of you that are visiting today for the first time, welcome. We're just going to take a moment to acknowledge some of the people behind the scenes and up front here in the music program and in the AV program. I'm actually going to start with the AV guys. They are behind the scenes back there, always trying to make sure that we have sound. And they volunteer. It's a complicated system. And they volunteer, and they have to do all this stuff on the fly in a live performance, and they don't cry. So stand up, guys. Everybody, stand up, Bill. Come on your feet, everybody. Stand up. Come on. So I gave them a little thank you gift this morning, but we couldn't have everybody up here the whole time. So that's one group. The other group is the choir. And if there's anybody in the audience that also participates in music one way or another and isn't up here today, you can stand as well. So here's the choir. And then I want to especially acknowledge our hymn leaders. I have this group of 5 people who come up here and do the singing for us, helping you sing, leading us in song every week. And also, don't lose their cool. I'm always very impressed with them. I'd like to begin with Dina, but I'm going to take hers to her. A hand for Dina. Lynn, the rest of you, can you come up here? Lynn Nugent. Jennifer Worthington. Matt Plummer, who also does AV and has especially purple hair today. Diane Breen. And Mike Sherman, who substitutes for me on the piano. He's not here today. He's in Florida with his newest grandchild. But I wanted to say something about Mike in particular. Mike, as we know, is the maintenance guy, right? He's been keeping the building together and oversaw all this establishment of new air conditioning and stuff, which was amazing, right? And he works on the AV table, and he sings in the choir, and he substitutes for me on the piano. So I want everybody, even though he's not here, to give him a big round of applause because he'll watch it. Thank you, Mike. All right, while I have your attention, thank you, you can sit down. While I have your attention, yes, that's right. While I have your attention, we're going to learn our prelude and opening song because it's not just the choir, it's you too. And so we're going to take a minute, and then we'll start the service. We'll ring the bell and do the call to worship and everything. You're going to sing the chorus of this hymn. Hang on a sec. I got to get this out of the way. Okay, there we go. All right, so we'll let you sit while you learn it. Bass. How about drums? All right, we have sound. So you're going to sing the chorus of this upcoming piece, and you'll rise in body or spirit when the choir stands up. They're going to stand up at the time we need you to stand up as well, if you're willing and able. The roadmap, centering bell, call to worship, song. All right, so here's the song you're going to sing, repeating after me. For it's love. Yes, it's love.
Yes, it's love.
Yes, it's love. That's the spirit of this church.
Yes, it's love. That's the spirit of this church.
Not the walls or steeple. We don't have a steeple. But the gathered people. Yes, it's love. That's the spirit of this church. For it's love. Yes, it's love. Now we're going to start the service.
As we gather in our sanctuary, in our homes, or watch from mobile screens almost anywhere, we are all together. Those watching now on Sunday, and those who may be watching anywhere. We are joined together for worship across both space and time. For it's love. Yes, it's love. For it's love that's the spirit of this church, not the walls or steeple, but a gathered people, is what makes up the spirit of this church. This is a free, creedless religious congregation in the discipline of truth and the spirit of universal kinship. We join together in a cooperative quest for religious and ethical values, seeking to apply these values to the development of character, enrichment of the spirit, and service to all. You are welcome here, whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever the color of your skin or your country of origin, no matter your gender expression or gender identity, whatever your age, however you define family, wherever you are at this time, and whatever the source of your faith, you are welcome here.
Everybody sing! Here we go! For it's love! Yes, it's love! For it's love! That's the spirit of this church! Amen! Not the walls or steeple, but the gathered people. That's the spirit of this church!
Okay. This morning, as we do each time we gather, we kindle our Unitarian Universalist chalice. We do so today with words from Karishma Gottfried. Each of us was created in the image of love. Wherever we come from, wherever we're going, whoever we are, whomever we love, we proclaim with love on our side. Our bodies are sacred, our minds are blessed, our spirits are beloved. May we be open to receive more love, always more love. Please light your chalice at home. Our common chalice is now lit.
All right, it's time for all ages, everyone. Come on out, come on down. My name is Melissa. I use she, her pronouns, and welcome everyone. So for those who don't know, today is our closing day for RE programming for this year. We've had a really wonderful year, and I'd like to say I am so proud of these kiddos. They have grown, they have changed, they have multiplied, and here we are. So can we get a round of applause for the kids? All right, so we will still have the Wonder Box today. Who would like to open the Wonder Box? Penny, why don't you do it? I don't think you've done it yet. Pull it out. What is it? A pillow? In what shape? A heart pillow. So today, the people who are going to be staying upstairs are going to be talking all about love. We know about love, right, guys? Yeah. Yes, people do hug each other on Valentine's Day, and that is one way to show love. Thank you, Leota. Who are some of the people that we love? Your mom? Anyone else? Dads? Grandparents? Everybody? Good job, Nate. Thank you. Yes, that was perfect. So what happens when you love somebody, but maybe you love your friend so much, but you guys are in a fight? Does that love go away? No. Good job, Leota. What happens to it?
Try and hug.
Yeah, you can try and calm down and hug. What if you get in trouble with your mom or your dad? Sometimes we cry, yeah. Does the love go away when your mom and dad are mad at you? No. Yeah. So sometimes love can be a little challenging because it has to go through challenging moments. Has anyone ever had their parents get mad at them, or a friend get in a fight with a friend? Yeah? Can we do a raise hand? I see a whole bunch of adults. Here we go. Yeah, I think almost everyone here has had a relationship that they really enjoy, that normally has a lot of love, have moments of challenge. And that's a really important part of being able to grow up, being able to know those moments and know that we can get through them, right? Because at the end of the day, lots of times you make up and there's apologies and everyone grows, right? Yeah, and then it can go all back to normal. And sometimes with adult relationships, that gets even more complicated with more varied levels of what that could look like. But for generally the kids, we make up and we move on, right? Yeah. All right. Well, are we ready to head downstairs? Yeah? All right. Thank you guys all so much. Thank you, Penny.
As you go on your way, may you be filled with gladness. Go enjoy, go enjoy. May fortune bless your day with peace and loving kindness. Go in love, go in love. As As you go on your way, may you be filled with gladness. Go enjoy, go enjoy. May fortune bless your day with peace and loving kindness. Go in love, go in love.
The offering in liberal religion is a vital part of our history of faith. As a covenanted community, people who freely choose to be here, our voluntary giving is symbolic of that freedom of choice. Each week at Bucksmont, we share our offering with a different cause or organization in the community. For the month of June, we are sharing with Be a Part of the Conversation. Be a Part of the Conversation is a collaboration of community leaders, families, educators, and addiction experts who believe that having meaningful, inclusive conversations about substance use will support individuals and their families in their efforts to develop healthy coping skills and access support wherever there is a need. The mission of Be a Part of the Conversation is to equip families and communities in Pennsylvania with skills and resources to understand substance use, addiction, and related health issues. They provide community programs, foster supportive connections, highlight lived experiences, and challenge stigma. We ask that you participate in our morning offering in one of these ways. You can write out a check to Bucksmont and mail it to the fellowship. You may donate online now or at the end of our worship service, or you may place your donation into one of the baskets as they are passed. We will now receive the morning offering. Our community continues to grow and thrive due to generous donations of both time and money. For the many ways that you contribute and how it sustains this fellowship, we are truly grateful. This morning's reading is from the book Emergent Strategy by Adrienne Marie Brown. One thing I have observed when we are engaged in acts of love, we humans are at our best and most resilient. The love in romance that makes us want to be better people, the love of children that makes us change our whole lives to meet their needs, the love of family that makes us drop everything to take care of them, the love of community that makes us work tirelessly, broken hearts. Perhaps humans' core function is love. Love leads us to observe in a much deeper way than any other emotion. I think of how delightful it is to see something new in my lovers' faces, something they may only know from inside as a feeling. If love were the central practice of a new generation of organizers and spiritual leaders, it would have a massive impact on what was considered organizing. If the goal was to increase the love rather than winning or dominating a constant opponent, I think we could actually imagine liberation from constant oppression. We would suddenly be seeing everything we do, everyone we meet, not through the tactical eyes of war, but through the eyes of love. We would see that there's no such thing as a blank canvas, empty land, or a new idea, but everywhere there is complex, ancient, fertile ground full of potential. We would organize with the perspective that there is wisdom and experience, an amazing story in the communities we love. And instead of starting up new ideas organizations all the time, we would want to listen, support, collaborate, merge, and grow through fusion, not competition. We would understand that the strength of our movement is in the strength of our relationships, which could only be measured by their depth. Scaling up would mean going deeper, being more vulnerable and more empathetic.
Hello. I might cry. Sorry. So I'm Dina Condren, and I use she, her pronouns, and I am your hymn leader for today. The reason I'm crying is because I'm so moved by the act of love of this congregation in accommodating the days when my arthritic feet make it difficult for me to stand. So in that spirit, I invite you all to sit with me today and not rise. And join in singing hymn number 325, words on the screen, Love Makes a Bridge. Love makes a bridge from heart to heart and hand to hand. Love finds a way when laws are blind and freedom banned. Love breaks the walls of language, gender, class, and age. Love gives us wings to slip the bars of every cage. Love lifts the hopes that force and fear have beaten down. Love breaks the chains and gives us strength to stand our ground. Love makes a bridge that winds may shake yet not destroy. Love carries faith through life and death to endless joy.
Today, after our service, we will hold our congregation's annual meeting. Some may be excited about this. Yeah? Some confused, and others a bit meh on the whole thing. However you feel, Annual meetings are one way we put our tradition of congregational self-governance into practice. We call it polity. People have died to make such a thing possible. The very idea that a congregation can gather and make its own religious decisions and other decisions about how to manage itself, who should be its leaders, and where to invest its resources has been rare in religious history, particularly Christian religious history. How do we go bigger than a single congregation then? How do we have a denomination beyond this building? The way Congregationalist traditions sort out things at a national level is at, you guessed it, perhaps, at a national annual meeting of congregations. They do it just like us, only bigger. We call that meeting each year by the very creative name, General Assembly. Important work happens at local congregational annual meetings and national general assemblies every year. Sometimes we change bylaws, we elect leaders, we socialize, we remember and recognize those who make our association and congregations possible. They are part business meeting, part exercise in liberal theology, part party, and part practiced democracy and debate. Some years special things occur at our national meeting. Later this month at our General Assembly, there will be a vote on revising our UU principles. This is required to be considered at least every 15 years. Why? In order to prevent our principles from becoming codified into a creed that cannot be changed. So when Unitarian Universalists gather, whether locally or nationally, we get to decide who we are and what we represent together. We talk about a lot of things. We vote on other things. This isn't how things are done in many religious traditions, but it is how we've chosen to make decisions together since 1961. Most of you may know this, but to remind us and to share it for those new to our tradition, Unitarian Universalism became a single tradition with a very, very long name in 1961, which so happens to be the same year this congregation was founded. So both UUism and Bucksmont turned 63 this year. More than 60 years later, our very long name is still not something that people by and large know. I'm okay with this because our name isn't the most important part of who we are. Our values are what turn our religion from nouns into verbs. It is more important to know what it is we are called to do in this world and find those who are interested in partnering with us in that work than whether they know what UU stands for. That comes later. So then what are we called to do as a people together? Over the past several years, a UUA-appointed commission of 7 people have held thousands of conversations and feedback sessions. In particular, they sorted through almost 11,000 survey responses and more than 4,500 participants in feedback sessions, which have continued to be worked into a revision to Article 2 of the Unitarian Universalist Association bylaws. Very exciting, I know, getting there. Article 2 of the bylaws is where our principles live. This is why you may or may not have heard the phrase Article 2 buzzing around UU spaces over the past couple of years. This is the section that contains our association's covenant, our purpose and aspirations as a faith tradition, including our 7 principles and 6 sources. The charge to this group from the UUA board was to work in love as a principal guide to their work, attending particularly to the ways that we have understood and articulated love and how we have acted out of love. Later this month, we will vote on whether to revise our UU values for Article 2 at our General Assembly. And then, if that vote is affirmational, The approach taken by the Commission was to offer us a set of single-word values that articulate what we share as Unitarian Universalists, which can serve as touchstones for our tradition. Those words are interdependence, going around the circle, interdependence at the top, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice all surround the central value of love. The proposal is for our principles and purposes to become our values and covenant, which would read, as Unitarian Universalists, we covenant congregation to congregation and through our association to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw from heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Inseparable from one another, these shared values are more than the single words you see on the screen. Along with these are more fleshed out sentences and phrases. For interdependence, we honor the interdependent web of all existence, with reverence for the great web of life and with humility. We acknowledge our place in it. Pluralism. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. Justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all thrive. Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. And equity. We declare that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. So we would have 6 interrelated values with love at the center. But what about our 6 sources? The idea of the Commission is that no set of sources will ever be complete. There have also been calls to make our set of 6 sources more inclusive by naming traditions such as Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism, as we name explicitly Judaism, Christianity, humanism, and earth-centered traditions presently. But there is no exhaustive list of sources that would hold all that our members, even in this room, draw upon. Instead, there is a revised area called Inspirations, which reads, direct experiences of transcending mystery and wonder are primary sources of Unitarian Universalist inspiration. These experiences open our hearts, renew our spirits, and transform our lives. We draw upon and are inspired by sacred, secular, and scientific understandings that help us make meaning and live into our values. These sources ground us and sustain us in ordinary, difficult, and joyous times. We respect the histories, contexts, and cultures in which these sources were created and are currently practiced. Grateful for the experiences that move us, aware of the religious ancestries we inherit, and enlivened by the diversity which enriches our faith, we are called to serve, ever deepen, and expand our. We are called to ever deepen and expand our wisdom. When you leave the service today, printouts are available of the full text of the proposed revision to Article 2, and the conversation is not over. Final amendments are still being considered, so that what will be voted on later in June might look a bit different than what I'm discussing today. That's the democratic process in action. Several members of this congregation and members of many, many congregations have been actively engaged in this process to help articulate what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist today and in the future. There will also be a handout showing how the ways we articulate our tradition have changed over the generations, starting in the 1930s forward. When the Board of Trustees of the Unitarian Universalist Association created this Article 2 Study Commission, the board also shared parts of this reflection on what lies at the core of Unitarian Universalism. In calling for this commission to root itself in a shared core theological value, we, the board, are asking the question, what is it that lies behind all the statements of principles that we agree to as our common associational points of covenant? What lies beneath the principles on which a commission can re-envision and re-articulate the ideas that are expressed currently in our existing principles, and include potentially other ideas put forth to be considered for that restated covenant? We assert that our deepest common theological grounding and value is this: love. We find it peeking through the words of the currently existing principles. We see it in our insistence on the worth and dignity of every person, and the calls by some that this insistence needs to extend to all other beings as well. We see it in the call for demanding and embodying justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. We hear it in our urging of acceptance of one another and our support for each person's spiritual growth. We discern an accountable love in our call for a responsible search for truth and meaning. Our affirmation of the right of conscience and the right of every individual to participate in shaping those institutions that govern them displays a deep respect and love for every person. We hold up the goal of a peaceful, free, and just world community as an expression of what love can and should bring into being. And we believe that our call to respect the interdependent web that we are a part of is an articulation of love for all that is, and our own place and role in that web. We see love called out as what demands that we be active in our justice work and justice making. We note that our hymnals contain many assertions of what we aspire to and what love can do as we are singing together today. We respond to the call of love because it is our common theological core. It is what can and does motivate us and illuminates our deepest commitments to each other. Bucksmont has also been centering love in how we talk about ourselves to newcomers. Our elevator speech in our marketing materials is, Bucksmont UU invites people from different religious and non-religious backgrounds to share and uphold our common beliefs in the web of love that connects us all, in the call to fight for justice, and in the practices that allow us to grow together, to love one another, no matter what. So in both the national conversation about how we talk about Unitarian Universalism and in our local conversation about how we talk about Bucksmont, love features prominently. In connections with people and conversations with them, I've heard hesitation in this focus on love with a capital L, and the idea that we might say love no matter what, or put love in the very center of the conversation about what it means to be a UU. But to work to love one another is not the same as romantic or even the love we hold for our families. We are not expected to accept everything about other people, or to let other people cause us harm over and over again in order to demonstrate that we love them. Love is a practice. From our reading today, if love were the central practice of a new generation of organizers and spiritual leaders, it would have a massive impact on what was considered organizing If the goal was to increase the love, rather than winning or dominating a constant opponent, I think we could actually imagine liberation from constant oppression. We would suddenly be seeing everything we do, everyone we meet, not through the tactical eyes of war, but through eyes of love. We would see that there's no such thing as a blank canvas, an empty land, or a new idea, but everywhere there is complex, ancient, fertile ground, full of potential. And to practice love is also to practice boundaries. We create communities that center love by also having clear rules for how we will treat each other in such a place. The way we articulate this at Bucksmont is in our Covenant of Right Relations, in which we promise to provide a safe and inclusive space, volunteer and support our fellowship, appreciate one another's gifts and limitations, support and nurture each other, communicate directly when we disagree, and problem solve when conflict happens, with a focus on the health of our community as a whole. So to love in the way we are trying to practice means to be in relationship with one another, and to acknowledge and repair relations when disagreements inevitably occur. There is a set of things we must do in order to be a part of a place like this and a tradition like Unitarian Universalism. To practice love is not only to be nice to other people, it is to create the conditions that are safe enough and clearly articulated enough for people to participate in honest relationships with one another. Wisdom from a 10-year-old in another congregation service on the topic of what places like this are all about. Church should be a place where we practice how to be in the world, not complain about who is in it. May love be our practice. May this fellowship be our training ground. May Unitarian Universalism be our guide. So may it be.
I invite you now to join me in prayer, adapted from the words of affirmation by Reverend M. Jade Kaiser. Let us now enter into a time of awareness within ourselves and connection beyond boundaries, connection to one another, to that interdependent web of life of which we are but one small thread. As we breathe in, we are connected. As we breathe out, we are connected. Love cannot be bought or sold. It does not make a profit. Love does not hide from the truth. Love dives deep. Love takes on flesh. Love is queer. Love is platonic. Love is erotic. Love is asexual. Love confronts evil. Love delights in pleasure. Love touches and weeps and flirts and feeds and creates. Love is risky. Love challenges systemic evil in all its forms. Love is simple but not easy. Love is collective. Love rises up. Love apologizes. Love believes. Love corrects. Love holds accountable. Love pays reparations. Love heals. Love tells its story. Spirit of life, we know that love embraces everyone, every creature, every creation. It knows us intimately. It holds us collectively. Love transcends every boundary that seeks to confine it. It will not tolerate violence in its name. May we all freely give, receive, and dwell in this love, which does not harm, but only sets free. As we breathe in, we are connected. As we breathe out, we are connected. May our minds create a vision of the world radical enough to be called holy. May our actions contain the promise of hope and the commitment of justice. May our hearts remember that love is a power that resists all forms of fear. By our thoughts, by our actions, by our hearts, and by our very breath, may it be so.
As part of our caring outreach to one another, we set aside a few moments to note both the sorrows and the joys in our lives. In these moments of peace and reflection, we turn our attention to one another. We hold each and all in our compassionate thoughts and the prayers of our hearts. This morning, we are adding stones to water. The bowl includes some of the water we gathered as a community back in September. So it contains the love of our congregation surrounding each joy or sorrow. As we add the stones to the bowl of water, our experiences are given weight and depth. We add a piece of our own stories to the collective waters of this community, a place that also holds the memories of those who have gone before and anticipates those who have yet to arrive. To share the joy or sorrow you would like held by our caring community, text the number that is now on screen. Please include your name along with your sharing. It is the same number no matter how you join us today, and you can add it to your contacts for future weeks. I will read them aloud, and Murray will add a stone to the water on your behalf. What is shared today will go out in our weekly caring notes for those who cannot be with us this morning. Please remember to include your first and last name with what you share. And now we will add a final stone for all of the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken and deep within our hearts. With stones gathered and remembrances shared, we honor our joys and our sorrows, those shared this morning and the many, many more that exist beyond words. Through our time together, our relationships are deepened and our community made whole.
And now I invite you to stay seated and join in singing our closing hymn. If you're using the Teal hymnal, it's number 1014, or the words on the screen, Answering the Call of Love. All about the bass.
chalice extinguishing words this morning are from Carrie Holly Hurt. Love holds you. Love bears witness to all your inherent dignity and worthiness. It witnesses how you try, succeed, and fail, and it does not flinch. Love will not let go. Love holds all of you.
As our community departs from this service, may we remember all who came before. May we imagine all who will come after. May we honor all who are present with us here and now. In our time together, we create this community, one of promise, one of commitment, one of a practiced love. In our time together, may each of us become a sanctuary for all we meet on the journey. May we go together now and return again in 30 minutes for the annual meeting.